like 20 plus apps a day, close to 40 now in the last few days. So like I went through over 15 or 20 apps before we got on here. Before I got on PUBG with my brother, and it was like, oh fuck. Like there's so many. Oh shit.
And we live.
What's good?
Oi.
It's your
What
boy.
up? PUBG. No.
Yeah, talk about a little bit of Zelda, a little bit of game design.
Or are we just going to sit here and talk about BC, basically?
Zelda.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Definitely main topic.
No way.
You knew.
Oh, busted, scuffed.
Oh,
Scuffed.
yes, sir. With that
Scuffed.
14
Anyway.
on Twitch already.
I am not muted now. Welcome to the stream. Again, Goodnight AZEROTH number 10. I am Atacas. We are joined with Pohgren, HypnoticBud, and GraysForDays. Today we are going to be discussing Classic WoW preparations and potential Classic WoW 2.0, things that could follow Classic WoW, or other things that are relative to that whole situation. Just different things, because we want to, we want to talk about it. We want to see what y'all think about it and whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, what's up, John Gotti? What's up, Brown Coat Blue? I always fuck up my mic. It's a thing that happens 24/7, 365. But anyway, so, fellas, Classic WoW preparations. We talk about this a lot, actually, but honestly, they seem to change. They seem to change weekly. The same thing for me is it's always the same. I've got the time off work. I've got the, all those things just like set in stone where I'm good to go. But like the leveling process, the freaking like exactly what I'm going to be eating, even that diet video, like I'm still going to be eating close to that, but it's going to be slightly different. Like it's just everything is just constantly like in flux. And that's something that maybe we should talk about is adaptability. What if, because all these perfect scenarios in our head that we've got mapped out for exactly what we're going to do, 99% chance that they're probably not going to work out that way.
Yeah, classic leveling.
Yeah, classic leveling.
Yeah, so no, I want to talk about how things have changed in my realm of things. We've been talking about the last couple weeks, but recently, I'm going to no-life it the first week, and my guild in Invictus Invicta, Def Camp Melderon, Pargo's, Hypnotic himself, we've got a lot of people in the community that are going to be a part of this guild. Lately, everyone's been doing MC runs. We're prepping for the game. I don't know how many of you guys are prepping for the game, but they want to do a week 1 clear. And I wanted to be a part of that, but now, and this is kind of a weird topic, and we can go into discussion about this, but I don't really want to do the practice runs, because Molten Core is unfamiliar
Kind of
to me.
spoils it.
Yeah.
It kind of spoils it. I don't want. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to do the week 1
Christmas?
Molten Core. Yeah. I want to do the week 1 Molten Core clear, but I don't want to go practice. I don't want to. I've never off tanked, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna be feral off tank in our guild. It's gonna be amazing. I have 5 weeks to prepare. Don't worry. I'm not jumping into a line. But but what are you guys doing for prep? Have you guys already found a guild?
Yes.
That's kind of a given for all of us on the stream. But like, what is everyone doing in the chat right now? Have you found a guild already? Or are you just gonna try and go into it raw, experience the game?
Raw dog the fuck
Raw dog that motherfucker.
Jump right in.
God.
I did 1 practice MC. I'm skipping the reset until launch. Don't want to fully ruin
say
it.
goodbye to
There you go.
relationships for a minute. Yeah, maybe not a minute, maybe an hour.
Yeah,
you know what I said?
What up, man?
Yeah, Titan, earlier in Discord today, I said
That's a she.
I said I'm kind of scared whenever Classic comes out. My personal life and my real life responsibilities are literally going to be taking a back seat.
Yep.
Raw dog randoms, bro.
It's gonna be a little sad for a month, dude. Like I'm not gonna be I might talk to her for 5 minutes a day, man.
So what I just linked in chat is for anybody out there who's interested in joining a guild that is going to be primarily focused around PvP. That's an application for my guild that I'm going to be running.
Do you care if I throw an application for
Go,
my casual?
go. This is Pohgren's gonna have one up for his, which is gonna be, for his like more what you say casual, but you guys are.
I don't want to say specific casual. So what it is more of a laid back kind of environment. We're not looking to do. Like when we raid, I want to raid at peak performance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit back and be like, yo,
Yeah, I don't think that any of us are going to take
Go
it.
balls the wall greens up in MC.
Yeah, but like I'm not going to rush to 60. I don't want anybody to feel like they need to be rushed to 60. Like I got quite a few people already in the guild.
When you get 40 people, you get 40 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's real quick. I'll pop it in both chats real quick.
There you go.
That's my guild app. Please feel free to go ahead and fill that sucker out.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna be a little more like I literally just want to look. I want some people who have good heads on the shoulders. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna do a lot of PvP stuff, but I'm not gonna be solely PvP focused like Atacas. Literally just planning on like I want to do a local defense. That's my guild. We got a local defense guild. Shit goes down in Crossroads. I will have people monitoring the situation, and we go in force.
Yeah.
You come to fuck with my leveling zones. You're gonna take
one of the things that I actually am wanting to do with my guild, and I think I don't even know if it's going to be a problem, honestly, but the problem that you see on private servers, it's not like a huge problem, but I don't like the Devilsar Mafia, the Devilsar Cartel, because think about it like on the grand scale, if they are, controlling that market and it's like a huge best in slot thing for so many different types of classes and whatnot, they're literally funneling money from every single one of those people into one big pot to like one powerhouse, and that's obviously not okay. That's like monopolizing the market. That's the reason why you can't monopolize things in a real world market. So what I've been thinking to do is to camp them out, kill them, like with my entire guild, and then get the leather, and we don't sell it. We give it. No, we give it out. Just to every random people in the cities.
Fucking Robin Hood shit?
Just Robin Hood. Because that's the only way. Because if we go in there and just take it all and then sell it, then we become them.
Hey, Widow, I'm in.
Yeah, because if we do that, then we just become them. So, Taijin, the layering system's only going to be a thing, hopefully, for the first couple weeks. At most, the first phase.
I thought it was only for starting areas as well.
That was what they were saying. That's what they were saying was originally it was just going to be starting areas. But if the layering goes the way they say it will, then we should be fine. It should end up not being a factor because the Devilsar Mafia stuff is going to continue all the way up throughout the entire game. Like, it's not just going to die after phase 1.
Yeah.
So
as long as a huge guild can command that. It's going to be a lot different, though. It's going to be a lot different than what
but honestly,
current
though,
private servers are because of the sheer size of servers.
But either way,
it's going to be at least double or triple. But
if they're controlling one layer, then they're not on another layer. Whichever layer they're on, we're going to be on one of them. And then we're going to be doing the same thing and just taking from whoever's on that layer. So no matter which way you look at it, we're going to be able to farm out some of the leather and then distribute it to other people. Because that's, like I said, that's the only way to do it. You can't take it. You can't take it and just give it to yourself, because then you just become that guild. You have to go and give it to randoms so that they can undercut the people in the auction house, so that they can take, their fair share of it. And even so, even if, like, say arbitrary numbers, say it's like 80 gold, right? And then somebody comes on and undercuts it for 60, and then the Devilsar Mafia comes and buys that for 60, and then they repost it for 70. They're still having to take their gold out of their pot and distribute it to other players.
Put it somewhere else. Yeah, that's true, though. That's definitely true.
So that's
fucking brilliant.
One thing. That's going to just try to balance out some of the economy, in my opinion. It's one way to help.
We're all on the same server, too, though. Like,
yeah, we can just join
forces. Do we plan on doing that? That is the thing. Pohgren? I know you kind of planned on coming.
Robin Hood group. I like a band of merry men.
Yeah.
Devilsar merry men.
Yeah.
Devilsar merry men.
We're in tights,
But this can kind of segue into something we were discussing earlier. With you were saying that the rumor is that Cargos is trying to go to a PvE server, which is where they're trying to take Invictus. This is just a rumor. Heard it here first. A rumor. But
don't go back into Discords and be safe.
Yeah. So, but if that's a possibility, like, what do we think about that? What do we think about people who are bigger streamers going to PvE servers instead of having to contend with people on PvP.
It might be a
crush
smarter
this.
idea.
I was gonna say I'll crush this right now. Kargas has no ambition to go to any PvE server.
Good.
Hands down.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Hands
Good.
fucking down.
I was gonna say I didn't know where that was coming from.
Kargas
I don't know where it
ain't
came from
running from
either.
no fights.
That's what
I
I
don't
was
know where
thinking.
that's coming from, but Kargas
the-
ain't running from no fights.
I do know there is a guild that's gonna be forming on almost every so Cargos is probably gonna attract the ire of this group. But there's a couple groups out on Reddit right now that are literally gonna form guilds to stream snipe. Like they're gonna go out and find tips out. They're gonna go out and find, you know,
Yeah,
they're
they
looking
can
to
find
stop-
tips out and shit, man.
they don't
We'll be
like
prepared.
big streamers, which is again.
Yeah, that's
but
fine. you
that's
know?
fine. But
I
No.
think it's great. I
Stream
think you should be able to
snipers.
do whatever you want. I don't have a problem with that. I'll tell you this personally. I'm planning on streaming full time, making tons of content. Like if I did get, say 5 to 10,000 followers on Twitch, a big enough following where it would be an issue for me, guys.
Yeah.
From day one,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
I'm
little bit of
rolling
a.
with Invictus Invicta Guild. Like I don't
We're
know
good.
if like phase 2 I'm gonna start on a fresh server. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm gonna do a lot of content. I'm gonna play with a lot of my buddies the first 1, 2, 3 phases, and I think that I'm gonna have another main character. I'm gonna set up a couple characters on a different PvE server. That's my full intention up to this point, because even if I'm not affected directly, even if I'm not the streamer doing it, I'm playing with Cargos, I'm playing with Def Camp and Melder, and I'm gonna be playing with all these
Yes,
guys.
sir.
It's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be hectic. It's not gonna be. So I don't know if I should be chasing after that original authentic experience again. Like I said, going in raw. Like guys, before vanilla launched, you didn't have guilds prepped before the game came out, right? You got to experience that raw. Again, like I don't know if we should go back to hashtag no changes. We want the same experience. Now we have Discord, a lot more
Yeah.
accessible to be talking about. That changes the world chat, how you discuss in zones. People may be more quiet in game and just be talking through Discord. It kind of affects the game. But
Yeah.
I don't know if we should be chasing after that authentic experience and just appreciating what we have. You get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the two-sided coin now. So I know for a lot of people, this is just kind of talking hyperbole. So I know what I'm planning on doing, which is I'm gonna try to go hard as I can, because depending on work and everything like that, you guys already know my situation. But I'm definitely gonna have a character on the back burner that I'm going to take probably 3 to 4 months to level. I'm going to take my damn time. I'm going to go through and try to experience this game the best way I can. Now, is it more purist? Maybe to do it off the bat? Maybe we should be taking a step back. Maybe we should be trying to promote, like, hey,
Sure.
let's not raw dog this as hard as we can.
Right.
But yeah, those are good. Those are really good too. I saw that the quest bar.
Fucking raw dog it.
So for your experience, it's raw dog it right off the bat. But I mean,
Fucking
it's
bush,
kind of like,
fucking raw dog it.
let's let people kind of make that decision. I kind of
The
go ahead.
only reason I want to no life it is because this is literally a monumental time in history. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Imagine being level 60 on a fresh server before everyone else. The gameplay, the experience, that first couple of weeks, you're never going to get to experience that again on a fresh 12 years in the making. It's all coming to a point. That's why I'm no lifing it. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Don't get me wrong. After I get my first 2 characters, Druid Mage to 60, literally day 18, I'm going to start for real. I'm going to roll a fresh Druid because I want to experience the game fully on a Druid class, right? And yes, halfway through the first month, by the end of the first month, I'm going to feel as if I'm just now starting to play the game, as I did back in the day at least. I'm going to take it slow. So, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on why I'm promoting the no life in a way, because not everyone can do it. I can say that I did. It's like I said, once in a lifetime opportunity.
Well, BB Bushy,
Exactly.
the reason why it is actually once in a lifetime, like, yeah, we can obviously go do this again. You can do it on private servers, you can do whatever. But this is the first time ever that Blizzard has revamped, like, a game of this capacity. And no matter what, if they do it again, it will never be this big.
Blizzard, right? It's not only Blizzard doing this.
True.
This scale is monumental for even the genre, especially bringing a game like classic World of Warcraft back from the dead. Basically, a game that literally most games set on their shoulders as the game that affected how they launched theirs.
Right, absolutely.
Like, it's like bringing back the fucking Beatles, right? Like fucking on that type of, it's like that type of scale, refreshing that type of genre, which is great.
This would literally be like taking fucking Metallica and just putting them out brand new, like when they were young again. Just like
Oh,
putting them in
fuck,
this day and age as like young people. It will, but with like a little bit more polished up, like a little bit more polished music. Just
a little bit of refresh. On
I'll be
now.
back. Y'all keep it up. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. So, and that comes back to as well, Grace. Like I know you were talking about where you were going for prep wise. So we're both obviously within Invictus. I will be partial raid leading as well as main tanking for Sidewinder, the third raid group within Invictus itself. And I just really cannot wait to get in there with you, Grace, and fucking tank that shit up, dude. It's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so great, dude.
Yeah, so, and Titan said too, that's why I'm in Sidewinder group, so I can enjoy the leveling process.
Exactly.
Right, Hypnotic and I are as well. We're going for a week 5 raid time. That's whenever we're going to start raiding is week 5. But what Hypnotic, are you doing the prep runs? I know you've jumped in a couple times in Molten Core to prep because you're going to be the main tank in Sidewinder, and you're jumping in with the other 2 raid groups that are a part of our guild. Like
Copperhead
I said,
and Black Mamba.
If you weren't in here at the first part of the stream,
Love the names, by the way.
our guild is trying to do a week 1 MC clear, right? And I want to be a part of that, but I don't want to spoil the experience. I think ultimately I'm just gonna be on the sideline.
I think you'll be totally fine, Grace.
But I might be geared. I might be so geared to the point because I'm literally gonna be no lifing at the first week. I'm
exactly, man.
I might be in the position where they need. Yeah, well, they might be in the position where they just need one person that's geared. Hey, do this, stand here, heal as a druid, right? But what are you doing to prep, Hypnotic? I know that you've been doing some of these MC runs. Is it taking away from that experience? And it really might not be. Just personally, what has been doing these runs? How has it fulfilled you?
So that's a fucking
if it's
filled question, Grace.
If it's filled
it actually has very much fulfilled me. So I came in coming off of what was pure PvP back in the day, being arms purely. Barely got through MC, had a few fights in BWL and AQ, purely PvP. We got the Warlord, and that was from help from my buddy who's Titan of Death, who's going to be with us as a DPS warrior back in the day. Him and me literally, he came over every fucking day, and we literally just PvP'd for like 8 hours. I'd go for like 3 BGs. He'd go through 3 BGs. We just kept PvPing. We never got the High Warlord. Pisses the fuck off. But what we're doing for prep wise is yes, I am running as main tank. I have been for the last few runs for the guild, which has been awesome as one of the main tanks. And hands down, the first night we ran as it's collective 3 guilds because a lot of people don't have time right now. They're and that's a lot of prep that goes into this. You know what I mean? World of Warcraft's coming out for these people who are within Invictus specifically. Also, a lot of us are putting in the time with our wives, our fiancés, our girlfriends, with our families, and saying, "Hey, this is we need credits. We need credits for when WoW comes out because we're gone for a week or 2 or a month." You know what I mean? It's
That's
like
hilarious.
you're putting it in. You know what I mean? So it's like. We have all 3 of our raid groups are coming together to do this preliminary stuff and just get a feel for it. And my god, dude, tanking for the first time with a full 40-man raid group, and we got all the way to Gar, and then I did the silliest thing ever. And it literally would go down in infamy in Invictus because people were fucking here, dude. I pulled Gar, and I was expecting Warlocks to instant banish. I was expecting people to instant pull, like, away from me. Like, I thought I had HOTS rolling and all this stuff, and all the ads from Gar would come. Instant bulldozed. I got instant bulldozed by Gar instantly. The first pull, dude. Literally just... And that was instant death. And all you hear is very clearly on Discord, nobody else was talking. And I was like, damn, that guy hits really hard. And literally everybody bursted out fucking laughing because I'm sitting there dead. But then I used a Stole Stone and taunted. So we got it back. It was good. It was a good pull. We still did some work, but damn, that was one of those moments, man.
And people are still talking about it.
They really are, dude. In our Discord, 3 weeks. 3 weeks later, man.
The only thing I hate about that story, Hypnotic, the only thing that I'm hearing it right now, and I'm hearing it a month before the game comes out. And I'm just saying,
True,
whatever the real
though.
thing happens, is it gonna be that funny? Is it gonna be that great? I know
hell
it will
yeah.
be. It absolutely will be, but will it be as good? But you know what I mean? You already got a taste of it. It was cool, like that.
It was, dude. You were
dopamine.
there.
Oh, dude,
Like the
everybody, that
people were
dopamine,
there.
everybody had. I mean, it was the highlight of your night, right?
It was, and it was a fuck up. That's the best part. It's like
Yeah.
I totally fucked up, but everybody, it was like, Hypnotic just was like, oh yeah, he hits fucking hard. Like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Like he hit
Wow.
kind of hard. Like you're dead on the floor.
Right.
Like
right.
holy shit, Gar's mid-raid group.
Yeah, so I want to I want to discuss this a little bit. I'm avoiding playing these private servers. I'm avoiding doing some of these first runs just because I have extremely limited experience doing raiding in vanilla WoW, right? So I want that first time to be just as great, if you want to call it dopamine rush. I want it to be a great experience. But can I even make a point? Can I even argue to say it's going to affect the longevity of the lifetime of the game for me? Is doing these pre-runs. I know this sounds crazy, but this 1 month before the game comes out, does it cut your lifetime, your love for the game down X amount of years? Like you're smoking cigarettes, you took off 6 years of your life.
Smoking that gun, right?
Does doing these molten core
sweet
runs
ganja.
take off 5 months of your classic WoW experience from start to finish? If say it's a 3-year lifespan, would you lose 5 months of interest time? And
Well,
also,
it depends really how long you put in.
Yeah, I want y'all to sit on that a little bit, kind of get a response ready, but also the longevity of the game, and this is conclusions on this idea of how long the game is going to last. People that have already done this, BB Bushy said a second ago, I would like for them to work with the raids, rework the old raids with different mechanics, or it might feel stale. I don't know, just my thoughts. There's a lot of people that have already done this content once. They're excited to do it again, but how long?
But in my opinion, how many people didn't know about that? Oh, Grays, you're out, brother. I can't hear you.
Oh, am I out? You can't hear me right now?
Oh no, I can hear you. Okay,
No, I
sorry.
can
Yeah, you're good.
No, cut off for just a moment.
Yeah, just cut off for just a moment there.
But
I was gonna say, like,
the community is definitely what will keep the game going. That's something I'm gonna touch on in a moment. But go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
Right. The way, and I'll just finish my last thought here. Does this preliminary preparing for the raids affect the longevity of the game for you? But also, my ultimate conclusion is I think people, I don't know, everyone's on a different case-to-case basis, but people that are just end-game focused, people that are just interested in getting best in slot gear, completing all the raids, min-maxing everything, I mean, they're pushing it to the limits, and that's great. That's how you want to play. I think the longevity of the lifetime of the game for you, if that's all your focus ever ends up being, you achieve that and then it's it. And I've seen that for a lot of people, and a lot of people talk about that. That's why I bring this up. I'm not just pulling it out of my ass.
That's 100% a thing, and I believe that comes from the aspect of retail. Not even recent retail, like retail who has been for quite a few years, whereas you go through that new raid content in a month.
See, I don't know about that, BB Bushy. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sorry,
I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, you know, that kind of aspect of running, like, hey, get the best in slot, get all the gear, and then just like it just goes stale for you. Hands down, that will happen within WoW. The good thing is that Blizzard kind of anticipated that, so they're doubling up on those phases, right? Because those phases were supposed to be a lot more spread out than they currently are.
Were
significantly.
You talking about whenever
within
it
a
originally
2-year
released?
span.
Yeah,
when it was originally released,
yeah.
those phases. So it's cut down by half. But at the same time, if you're coming in the aspect for rating, like I want to get the best in slot and then do this and that, the thing about Classic WoW is per boss of a 40-man, you only have 2-3 pieces of gear. Was it 5 max usually?
Yeah,
2 to 3 is average.
Forever for you to achieve best in slot.
Right, it's gonna take you absolutely a long fucking time to get the best gear or a full set of tier 1, or you know, it's gonna take you substantially longer than it would current day.
And
I mean, I played Battle for Azeroth. I played in the mythic modes. I played on the I played the recent stuff, not the absolute recent, but the first raid group, and got mythic plus modes, all that shit down, and I was burnt out. I was like, wow.
Okay. Bushy, we're gonna get on your point in a second, but real quick, Pohgren and Atacas, I want to hear your idea of how you're gonna keep longevity of the game for you, how you're going to keep the game fresh, and maybe just ideas on what I talked about a second ago, and then we'll answer B Bushy because I want to get to him.
Well, real quick, what you said about the phases, they actually expanded them because they were shorter. Remember when they first released it, there was only like 4, and then they went up to 6 or something. But as far as keeping it fresh for me, dude, I kill people and it's fresh. I'm fine.
Yeah, PvP. PvP is gonna keep the game going.
It
forever.
doesn't get old for me. Like literally, that's like I've played the game forever, and I just always PvP, and it never gets old. Like I could sit there and BG for days on days on days, and just not ever get tired of it. But I mean, I don't know if when I get Grand Marshal with my warrior, then maybe I'll be less interested in playing that and more interested in potentially mastering another class.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, like I feel like I've got a firm handle on playing a warrior, and once I get the highest accolades you can achieve, then I'll probably try to get a firm handle on something else. But until then, I don't know. It's still not going to get stale in that time for me.
So for me, it's something along the same lines. PvP is definitely going to be something that's going to keep it from being stale for me. So I actually got a taste of it. So for you guys to really know, I haven't played Shaman at level 60 ever in Classic WoW, but it's definitely what I'm going to main. I have hands down want to master this class. I am not perfect at it. I'm very much a noob. But I went and grabbed a bunch of gear last night. We went on to Retro WoW. You guys know that private server?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you instant 60, you get a maul, you get to gear up. So I grabbed literally everything I wore was hit, crit, and attack power items. I had I played around with a dagger and shield, and I played around with an Arcanite Reaper as my weapon. With Arcanite Reaper on, I was PvPing D-Dark Dragon and Thermophile. They were both warriors, decked out in some great gear for pre-raid. When you get that, this is what's kind of turned me more onto the PvP side of things. I got to experience a Wind Fury proc, plus a Storm Strike crit, and like an Earth Shock crit, or even like, literally the moment that the duel started, they were dead. Like 2 seconds. I had a Wind Fury proc where all 3 Wind Fury hits crit for 1,000. And then I Storm Strike and then Earth Shock for... I basically did like almost 9 grand worth of HP in one go. One like keystroke, just dead. I was just like, oh, and I like it was like it's my first kill. The power.
You were hooked.
I was hooked. We were playing around with that, and I was even running around killing mobs and stuff like that. And I think I feel like almost doing an attack, because my Wind Fury, I was critting all the time with my Wind Fury. Like, we would go out into, I even did some auto-attacking with just Rock Biter weapon on. We were doing some quests that they had you set up, so we were going against late mobs and everything like that, and I'm sitting there, like, my white hit would be like 100, like a normal, like, swing attack, and then my Wind Fury would go off every other swing, and I don't know if it's just that server's mechanics, but it made me more stoked to play this class and to play around with it more. And even using a dagger is retarded powerful on an enhancement shaman.
Is it?
Like we had Thermophile running around with dual daggers on a warrior. Just
Ew.
That's a
non-stop
That's a
crits.
thing.
It
Get out of
was
here.
disgusting.
Take your little pig sticker and shove it up your butt.
He melted a rogue. He charged and killed a rogue in like no time. It was ridiculous. Like the dagger I was using, I tried using Seeker, but it was just too slow. I went down to like a 1.4 weapon, a 1.4 dagger. I can't remember the specific one. I think it's the Bone Scraper was the one I was using. It gives you a bunch of attack power. So literally loading up on attack power made it really cool for my auto attacks. The only problem is I have no sustained. I have to bust my load right off the bat, or I'm just I can't marathon it. I can't can't even marathon DPS. So I would really have to. What I was thinking about doing is downranking my DPS spells. So like leave Flame Shock at max rank because it doesn't cost as much. I can go in and reduce the mana cost of cooldown to my shocks. I would probably have a couple downrank versions of Frost Shock. One Punch Man. Basically, I'm One Punch Man.
Yes, dude. That is an enhancement.
But it's left me hungry. Sorry, no, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
this has left me hungry.
BB Bushy, I agree, but BB Bushy said a second ago, I agree, but the streamers will always go for content, and there alone will always keep retail above classic.
I don't think so. No, Soda Poppin' and Asmon.
So many will come
There are
over.
so many people that are going to go to classic.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
sorry,
many
Grace,
big players.
No, I want you to.
So many
The
big players will.
The
Yeah,
big players
the big
will
boys.
go over to Classic. So when you go on, you'll probably see the full row of high viewed content is going to be Classic WoW, and then it'll go to retail, and then it'll be sprinkled.
Exactly.
Also, guys, in this discussion, man, whenever we're comparing classic to retail, you're comparing apples to oranges. They're a different game. Honestly, they're a different genre.
Yeah, retail's trash.
For way longer than 3 to 6 months, because the people who are joining and they're doing the high end streaming are people who are dedicated. Like they're not going anywhere. This isn't like
they'll be there for the 2-year length. They'll be
they're-
there for the 2-year length.
This isn't some Joe Schmo. This is literally the group right now.
Right, yeah, but retail and classic WoW literally are different games, a different genre. I was talking to some of my guys in Discord, and he said, retail's not in MMORPG. It's kind of like the MMO's not in it anymore.
It's like a hack and slash.
Kind of like a dungeon crawler, a single player dungeon crawler, and it's great. If you look at the game that way, that's how it's.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was hitting on too. It's like,
and I kind of, everybody hates on retail so much lately, and it's gotten a lot of flack. But and I kind of laid off of it because I'm like, dude, we're not even comparing the same game. And honestly, the only reason people have been hating on retail is because they love classic so much. They want the company that made their original game. They're not making it anymore. That's why they're so frustrated. That's why they're pissed off. Yeah, dude, retail sucks. We want classic back. And so that's where a lot of hate and a lot of lashback is coming from these classic players. But dude, I gave up on it. I was like, screw it, dude. They're literally not the same game. So it's weird to compare them and say that retail is always going to be above classic. I honestly believe the classic community is so rich. Classic is such a unique game. One of the only games in its MMORPG genres that's been as successful as it's been. I mean, old school RuneScape, I don't think is going to even compare to the success that we're going to see in classic. We will have to wait and see, but I think the 5-year mark for classic is going to be much bigger than the 5-year mark for old school RuneScape.
So we got Dead of Night over here in the YouTubes. WoW Classic will keep me engaged for years and years. If there's no additional phases or expansions for WoW Classic, even better. I can roll alts, play more casually, and without falling behind from my current content. And that's super true though. Like, so I've come from a background of barely tanking at all. I tanked a little bit in like Warlords of Draenor and stuff like that as a side tank and stuff like that. So coming back into Classic as a tank versus DPS is extremely, like, as soon as I stepped into MC the first time, and basically the fucking reins of 40 fucking people were set upon me, they were like, all right, let's pull. At first, I was like, oh shit, this is a lot of fucking pressure. This is super stressful. And then I was like, you know what? This is fucking it, dude. This is it. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to roll. This is it. You know what I mean? It changed my mind completely. And I was like, I want to tank. In the back of my brain, I was always like, yeah, I want to tank. And I jump in there with the mindset like, yes, I want to tank. And then the reins get handed off, and I was like, roll it. Like, I was like, for a split second, I was like, oh shit.
It's a little scary because
it is. It really is.
Like, as much as the raids are dependent upon, multiple people doing everything right, it's still like nobody can do anything right unless you do what you're supposed to do right first.
Exactly, dude. It's like I am that cement slab for that. Like to build upon.
The first time that I was like the main tank of a guild and everything was dependent on me was during Wrath, and when like everything was fine, like I didn't really give a shit, like I was tanking everything fine, we were doing great, and then I'm in California in a LAN center with my guild. We were only a 10-man guild, but in a LAN center with my 10-man guild, and we're all sitting in a line of computers next to each other, and we walk up to the Lich King's throne, and I'm like, oh fuck. The stakes have been raised. Everything was fine until that point, but now I'm in person with all these people, and we're fighting the hardest boss to date, or the biggest boss to date, and I'm just like, oh fuck. But we downed him, and it was fine. But that was the first time we downed him, and it was nice. Awesome. Like, it was the best feeling.
Super dope, dude.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like, it's because it was like such a huge, like, this is fucking important, and if I fuck up, we're all fucked. But then I didn't.
Yeah.
and it was that much better.
Fine. Exactly.
Yeah, man. So that's why I'm like, I have a super huge respect for my original OG tanks back in the day. Like, I was a fucking 15-year-old kid, just like, whatever, man, I'm PvP, coming in with Warlord gear on, and I'm arm spec DPSing, like, you know, I'm just like, whatever. You know, and these tanks, you know, they were like 30-40-year-old dudes in my main raid group, so it was like, I have huge respect for them, because you're right, it all comes down to, if you fuck up, the whole thing collapses. You are the bottom tier of that, you know, of that stack.
Dead of Night is in the YouTube chat. He's saying, however, I would prefer phases 7, 8, 9, etc. to extend the game before launching fresh servers or TBC. Diablo 3 still has a following, and it only takes a week to beat the game every season. What do you guys think about the lifetime of Classic WoW? I'll give you my take on it. I know we have 6 phases, and it's undecided how long they're gonna have these phases. Guys, I don't want to see a 2-year Classic. Personally, I don't want to see a 2-year Classic. I don't think it's enough time. People are talking about leveling to 64 months. It's going to take them 4 to 6 months, really, to get to MC. I know that sounds crazy, but can you imagine a year and a half later, Classic's over with, it's done? Yeah. Personally, I think 2 years is too short. I think 3 years is too short. Now, there's some complications with this. Obviously, we can't just say, hey, Classic's going to be 5 years long, 4 years long. Well, then that means phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, whenever when's PvP going to get introduced? A year and a half down the road? Like, you know what I mean? I know,
what,
but like,
yeah, what I was going to say was, I heard that it was literally a 2-year plan for Classic, and then we don't know what's after that.
Well, what they said,
the phases were released within half the amount of time, because it was a 4-year deal. Vanilla was 4 years.
Was it?
No, dude,
No,
it was
Vanilla was 2.
It was like 26 months, dude.
I thought it was, I thought it was 30
Because
months.
BC came out when I was in 11th.
BC came out in January of 2007.
Yeah, I was in 11th grade. And
it launched November 2004. European European servers didn't even get 2 years of Classic WoW.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so Europeans didn't get it. 2 years?
Not even.
I don't mind. Like,
does that mean? Because I know they were trying to squish within the time frame was going to be within half the amount of time for the release period was going to be Classic. So it's like a year, a little over a year. So that can't be right, no.
What do you think, Atacas? What do you on the time span?
I mean, I think that more than 2 years would not be a bad thing, but not much more than 2 years. I mean, I think at most 2.5 years, because because like, think about it, man. 2.5 years is a long fucking time. I will be 31 in 2.5 years. All right.
Same, dude.
30 freaking 1. So like,
I'll be 32.
And I'm okay with the 2 years. I'm not saying that I'd be opposed to longer, but like, in 2 years I'll be ready for BC servers. And the only thing, the most recent thing they've said about it was in one of those interviews or something. He was basically, when they asked about it, he was like, "We're just focusing on Classic right now, but we're not." Like he said, I think he said something along the lines of, "We're not ruling anything out."
Reddit posts.
What are you talking about?
This just came through strong this morning, man. Reddit was saying there's already official is what they're saying. Official leak for a trilogy of original Classic content, which would be all the way to Wrath of the Lich King.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And I want to kind of talk about that.
It's on Reddit.
It's on Reddit.
It's not, you know.
But no, that's what they need to do. Like, if that's true, then at least they know that the trilogy is the way to go. Like I said, what they need to do is they just need to do 2 years. You got vanilla. 2 years, that vanilla server turns into BC. 2 years later, that server turns into Wrath. And every time that a new iteration comes out, they restart a fresh vanilla server, and they just keep progressing through them.
They re-progress that. So that's what I'm hoping too, is they come out with new progressive servers for Classic 2 years down the road.
That's probably exactly what they'll do.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope,
because like, I don't want to
support for it.
Yeah, I don't want to play after Wrath, and like even after 2 years of me investing my time into a Wrath of the Lich King character, I'm not gonna give a shit about abandoning him and starting over. Like, even if it was a character I had for 6 years, I'd still just be like, yeah, it's time to play a new one. Like, because
I'm gonna pull the cord on this.
It's ultimately like, you're the legacy, not the character and the achievements. The achievements are horse shit anyway. Like, take achievements out of the game, please. But I understand that it's necessary for like Wrath, because a lot of those mounts and shit and different like
Well,
hard
first
modes
off,
and whatnot.
The only thing I'm not looking forward to Wrath is people coming back with going gear score, achievement, gear score, achievement.
Gear score?
Yeah.
What's your
Suck my dick.
achievement? Dude, that
Yeah.
was Wrath. That was Wrath.
That was.
And people thinking that leather wasn't for warriors. It's like, no, you can't wear that. It's like, dude,
I'm
even
sorry.
like what?
Have you
No.
seen the DPS meters.
But like the thing was like the argument was that was when the armor thing became part of like in a warrior spec you could spec into like armor giving you attack power.
Yes.
Which was okay, but still like bruh, if I get like a piece of leather shoulders and they give me like 100 more attack power, do I really care about losing a little bit of armor? Or if they give me like 10% freaking crit, not saying they would, but there's different stats that weigh into why I would use the leather piece over the other ones.
Not correct.
But
It'd have to be,
Dead of
it'd have
Night
to be
says
substantial within that expansion.
yeah, Dead of Night says 2 years is too short to move on. I know some of us will be ready for it, but not all of us. This is one of the points of contention I have with WoW. I pay for a game and Blizzard takes it away early. They should find a way to extend additional phases that can do that. Well, we've talked about in the past like what we would like to see with extended phases. If they were to do it, they definitely won't do it on this go around, but maybe the next server they'll start by saying like, hey guys, you played classic WoW servers, but have you heard of Classic WoW Plus? And then it's like, yeah, and then they'd be like, at the end of it all, because what they could do is they could release miniature raids alongside the big ones. Like, how in Wrath it was like, here's like Karazhan, or not Karazhan, but like here's Nax, but we've also got like Ruby Sanctum, Obsidian Sanctum. They had these like one boss raids that were released towards like
classic.
Yeah. So then like you could do like MC and then have like you've got a Nixie, it's like a one boss raid, but have like another smaller one that's a little bit easier or something that just has like really intricate things that only work, like gear that only drops that like only works for like certain specs.
Bushy,
and stuff
I'm
like
calling Blizzard right now.
Before we get into that, I want to address something Bushy had stated. Streamers are going to go where the money is. I really think you might. There's a couple people are out there. I had a friend that was like, "Oh, they'll be that big." I'm like, "There'll probably be like 4 million people playing." She's like, "Well, yeah, that's big, but it's not big in the scheme of Blizzard." And I'm like, I don't know about that. So
4 mil.
A 4 mil, maybe at launch, and it'll probably go higher.
It's gonna be.
I think I project really high numbers. I'm really optimistic about this.
4 mil.
I mean, I'm thinking we're gonna probably be at like maybe like 9 mil within the first year.
I'd say at least within the first year. I'd say like in the first 2 months we're gonna be like way high, and then it will start to trickle.
It depends. I think it just depends on what's actually going on during those first few months. But the idea that streamers are gonna go where the money is, the streamers who are the big ones that are already here, that's all they want right now is to play Classic WoW. They're not sitting there going, I've never played Classic WoW. Like Soda Poppin', Asmongold, like what was here? We have S-Fan, we have Tips Out, we have Stay Safe. All those guys are all about Classic WoW, like hardcore.
Yeah,
like, they want this, and yeah, maybe eventually they'll end up leaving. But like, I think that'll probably be down the 2-year mark. That'll probably be around the time they launch VC servers. Yeah, I could see some of them jumping ship. But I don't think retail's not gonna be able to bounce back almost. Like, unless they come out with a really solid expansion that gets rid of a whole bunch of shit that they've done. Because we know the level squish is happening. We know level squish is going down to 60 for retail.
Yeah.
Hey, Grays, I think you're muted, Grays. We can't hear you, brother. Grays has been trying to talk here for a minute.
Shiza, mocking.
No wonder.
I was gonna say, dude, you've been trying to talk. I'm like, hello?
Right.
He thought we were just talking over him.
I thought y'all were pissing me off. Like, let me speak.
I could see it in your facial expression, dude.
What
I
is
was like,
going on?
Hey, Grays is trying to talk.
Grace.
I was like, let me get a word in. No.
The floor is yours.
No, Dead of Night's talking about this. He said if they're going with 2 years, that puts each phase at an average of 4 months, but some may be shorter or longer. And what I want to talk on is, do you think the majority of players can play through Classic in 2 years lifetime? I really think a lot of people, if it's a 2-year lifespan, people aren't gonna complete the game. Now, I think we're gonna go BC, Wrath of the Lich King. This is I just came up with this on the fly. Tell me what you think. I'm thinking we get 2.5. Man, I would love to see 3 years of Classic. Honestly, the more we're talking about it, I don't think that's going to be a reality. I think it's going to be 2.5 years max on Classic. We're going to hit BC. I think we should go BC, Wrath of the Lich King, because I would love to re-experience that again. I think a majority of the player base would. But I don't think that we should have, and Atticus, you can chime in on this too. I don't think we should have a relaunch of Classic. I think we should let the Classic servers stay around until the end of Wrath of the Lich King. I don't think we should see a revamp until year 6, and that year 6 revamp is going to be Classic Plus. If you want to play Classic, official Classic, you've got it for 6 years on the 15-year anniversary, the relaunch. Here you go. You get Classic for 6 years. Sorry, it's not a fresh private server. Just level and alt. That's the hard reality. But let the minority of players, let people, completionists like me, experience the game. They want to play it. Let people that don't have as much time to play through the game in 5 years. That's how deep this game is. People have achievements. They want to level multiple characters through all the zones. Progress through raid progression where it's not extremely outdated. Now I know 4 or 5 years down the road it's going to be a little diluted. Maybe you could announce new servers. Does that count as a
new
refresh?
servers? Yeah, well, no, it counts as a refresh. New servers.
To kind of appeal to both audiences there, that's what I said in the past. What they could do is have a copy and paste feature or a cut and paste feature even. So like you could make the decision of like, I'm going to take my character from the Classic server and transfer it over to a BC server. But that's dependent on them, like, because I don't know the logistics behind it. I've heard that it's just super easy to just literally, like, it's automated, like, copy and paste. You don't have to do shit about it. Like, nobody needs to be behind the computer doing it. But that's the thing. I don't know if, like, I would prefer to see it as a cut and paste, not a copy and paste. Because if you're going to take the step to go to BC and take your character over there with your stuff, you should not be able to still have access to and advance that character on a Classic server. Right. I think that you should have to make that decision. And if you don't want to lose the one on Classic, then just level one up from start on the BC server and just go through 1 to 60 again and then just do 70.
Yeah, but we know Blizzard. Blizzard's going to say, hey, BC's out. Get a free level fucking 70 with blues.
No, I don't think they can do that.
No, we will we'll revolt and go back to Classic. No one will play it. Yeah. No one will play it.
I think the only thing that they could do is like a money grab is gonna be pets and mounts for money, and
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with pets and mounts.
I am too, because like it doesn't really impact gameplay. Like it's just whatever. Like I don't like it in Classic because it's not the same, but at the same time, I still have to like understand that they're a business and they're trying to make more money.
Right.
So it's not affecting my gameplay. I don't give a shit. I've talked about it before. As long as you're not paying to win, then I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you're not paying for like epics or something to come in, but hands down though, I would agree with Grays on the aspect that we get, you know, the trio comes out all the way to Wrath of the Lich King, and then they come back to Classic and say, here's Classic Plus. We're giving you guys new raids. We're giving you guys this new raid content. The only issue I have with that is the devs. Like, we have a few of the original devs, their original devs, giving us WoW Classic. And they're doing a phenomenal job to do it. Yeah. And they have some new people along the ways, of course. You know, that are giving us those blue posts and following it up. But I feel like those guys are going to move on. I feel like we're going to lose what made this so special in the entire aspect of World of Warcraft, you know, within that time frame. You know, 6 years, you know, a long ass time.
Well, let's think about this, though. Like, we've talked about it before, but let's talk about it a little bit more, I guess, is if we get a Classic Plus, what storylines do you want to see them actually base raids around? Where do you want them to go? Because I know that I want them to take Kara and put it in Classic. I want to see that. I think that would be cool. And then on top of that, I know there's some way that they could add something into Karazhan and start to tie it into, say, the Scarlet Monastery line, like storyline. And then take the raid back to the Scarlet Monastery, find like another like wing or like even like an encampment that's set up near the Scarlet Monastery that could be a raid, an outdoor raid like that. Something that would be cool, like just to keep investing into that, because that's one of my favorite storylines. But
no, that is one of my favorite storylines, hands down. And like especially like I just saw Scarum, you know, with his recent post that what is it, the Bloodthirst, our big guild's Bloodthirsty. That was a great video, and in the entire like first 5 minutes, it was him walking through SM with Ashbringer on. and doing the entire clippage. That was super interesting to me for that aspect. So like I agree. If we can dive deeper into that aspect, that would be absolutely amazing for like a WoW plus raid or just even more lore on that standpoint.
I mean, I also have kind of questions because old Seabass just brought up a good thing too. Let's say if we don't do 3 Classic Plus, where do you think they would go with? Because I think we can do two things here. We can go into Classic Plus, which I think we definitely need to. But if we end up running out of topic on that, let's talk about BC. Where do you think they would go patch cycle wise?
I think they would have to go at the end again, just like they're doing with Classic. Because let's be real, like you don't start out an expansion or any iteration of any game that you're updating, and oh, this is perfect. We don't need to change anything. They continuously made changes throughout the whole thing.
The fuck's with this Fourth Reich army has arrived from Big Musk?
I don't know.
I'm down in chat.
All right.
I guess
I was
you
gonna
got
say
raided.
we just got about
raided,
we got
I guess.
raided. Yeah, you got raided. We
If I got
got
raided,
at
that's
least
cool with me.
7 or 8
Nice.
people from
I didn't
that.
see it actually go through.
Oh, I saw the jump up going viewers. Who was from like 17.
Big
to
Musk, you
27,
good, man.
28.
We know people troll. We ain't.
I know. They
hating.
trolling hard, man. It's all good.
Hold up. The Razor
I
says,
like Big
I am
Musk.
prepping. Dumped my girlfriend. Check. Scheduled time off.
You have
Check.
nothing to do with
Spending
this.
time with family now. Check. Saved up
Posted on
cash.
Discord.
Check.
Oh, okay, man.
Buying new mouse and keyboard.
You're all
Almost check.
Well, thank you for tuning in, Big Musk. Haven't talked to you in a long time, man.
Thank you for the raid.
I don't know if
Yeah,
he actually
Big Musk,
raided or
I need
not.
some
I
more
think he just
intros,
ended up
bro.
showing up.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I
A
don't
lot
see
of
any
people
raid.
jumped on out of nowhere, so I don't know. Raids usually, I don't think they come with as notifications. I think they're raids. Like literally
raids
just calls
come
and
with a
dump
notification.
people.
If you've got notifications turned on for it, raids will come with it.
Oh, okay.
Big Musk in one of these, we could.
But let's see. Someone in my chat. His name's
Definitely
one
something.
101605024160180500401020015015018.
You're getting the full experience.
Says, realistically
Dude, that
thinking that years ahead,
Oh
lots
my
of MMORPG releases. I think the reason Classic is looking appealing so right now is because we got nothing else. I don't.
That's literally his name.
I don't agree with that because, like, think back to when everybody was trying to say like what was going to be the classic WoW or
Yeah.
the World of Warcraft killer, and how many tried and
It's
failed.
never happened.
Yeah, it never happened. The only thing
Yeah.
that can kill WoW is WoW.
Right. Yeah, no, and it eventually happened, right? This is one of the talking points I wanted to get into. What is the next MMORPG going to be? I think we're going to see Classic for the next 10 years. I think it's going to be a huge success. How much time does it take to create and develop a successful MMORPG? Minimum 5 years, right? 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
I would say so.
This is one of the things that I was talking about with Pohgren earlier. He's got a Zelda shirt on. He can. Thank you. And so we were
You're
talking about
welcome, sorry.
Zelda, and I said, what? Like, tell me your experience about Zelda. And he told me all these games, and I was thinking about how nostalgic it was for him, and how nostalgic these old games are for everybody. Whether it's Zelda, what other games do you think about playing? Like, I'll even go back to Pong, but like. All these games, they had like a base of why they were good. It wasn't necessarily these great graphics. And I'm thinking about WoW 2.0, a new MMORPG. Can we have a successful MMORPG that has the updated graphics of retail? I know that sounds crazy, but like if they remaster Zelda, has that been a success? Like if we were to create a new MMORPG.
But that's because Zelda's crazy, man. Like,
But I've
the
got
fact
an
that
idea.
It's
I've
just
got
as
this.
fanatic as I could say as World of Warcraft. But I'm also going to say, because you also had asked the question, can there be a successful MMO in the future? I think there will be. Like, when you look at what's coming out, like Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, a lot of people are waiting for that. But Atacus, shoot, before you lose it.
This is it. The WoW killer.
Okay?
World of Warcraft 0. Level cap is 40.
Without
What?
any carbs.
No.
Without any-
Level
no
cap is
carbs.
40, and you're 10 years prior to World of Warcraft.
What?
Think about the storyline before World of Warcraft, and all the stuff you could do. It'll because we kind of saw it in the beta. It was fun to see this new meta,
That's
but
true.
it
was a
wouldn't be the
huge
same.
new meta.
It wouldn't be the same though because the game would be based
Right.
around a level 40 being the level cap. But I think that would be cool. A smaller leveling experience, not necessarily small. But like the prequel to WoW, like there's so much lore in the game
So
that they
what
could
would that
find
be
something.
then? Would that be like Warcraft 3, or you mean like before, like...
I guess it would be. I guess it would probably be Warcraft 3, but maybe
Warcraft
you're
would be
just
interesting.
True.
Yeah,
Well,
you would just
Warcraft. Well,
do-
there is a huge amount of time between the two. Though.
Almost
Yeah,
like
there's
maybe not
enough.
even an
Good.
RPG, maybe not even an
Yeah.
RPG, but like Blizzard making more of like a storytelling RPG, like actually going on. And
Ooh.
see, you can actually have like instanced, like I almost don't think doing Warcraft 3 as an MMO alone would be enough, but at the same time, there's a lot of cool shit you could do with phases. So like you'd be an alliance member helping out Arthas like purge Stratholme for a raid.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, which we already have as dungeon, but it'd be an actual raid in that case. And then you'd have like Thrall fighting with Karen to kill the frickin' centaurs and the barons. I mean, it could be really cool, but it also could be a really good, just like action RPG. I think like something like The Witcher.
Well, think about joining in. Look, I know I talk about Scarlet Monastery a lot, but think about joining in on the Scarlet Monastery fight where like High Inquisitor Fernbake's like lost his life and shit, and like how
I mean,
like all those like there's a ton of lore in that right there, but that could be an entire raid in itself because that was a huge fucking battle that we never saw in any part of the game.
thoughts on GraysForDays being the cute one of the podcast. He did shave today.
I
He did. He did. He was late for that shave.
It's only because I'm 22. I'm
He
the
was like, I
youngest
gotta
one here.
shave. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Don't take it wrong, man. Don't take it wrong. It's a compliment.
Oh shit, dude, that's great.
God.
Making him red. Stop.
no. So, guy, whenever I think of the next MMORPG, and I've been thinking a lot about this, coming after Classic,
Yeah.
and I've been diving into kind of game design analysis. I've been doing dungeon guides. I'm not plugging myself. It's not what I'm doing here. But
plug
I've
yourself
been
if you want to. It's
Plug the fuck out of
Yeah.
yourself.
because we've been
Well,
plugging
I-
each other out right now. Like
That's
I mean,
fine.
Oh, good.
Go to
Yeah.
Gray's YouTube channel.
So I've been doing these
Dungeon
forum
guide.
posts for all the dungeons, and I know it sounds crazy, but like analyzing every single mob's abilities, the amount of mobs in each dungeon, how each dungeon's laid out, whether it's linear, whether it's not, all the quests in each dungeon, and so I'm figuring out why this game is successful, specifically one part of the game, dungeons, and why it works. And so whenever I think of the next MMORPG, what is it going to be? Is it going to be something completely different than WoW? Honestly, I think WoW was the perfect storm. Everybody's talked about this in the past. I think it was kind of a mistake that it turned out so good, it turned out so well. All the mechanics, all the stats, all the classes, the fact, even the armor sets, the headpiece, shoulders, neck piece, trinkets, 2 rings, strength, agility, stamina, intellect, spirit, like all these base things that made the game good. Could we come up with a whole new game that finds as much success as classic WoW did? I don't know if we can. I think the next MMORPG is 10, 15 years down the road. We get WoW 2.0. It might be a prequel, it might be a sequel, but I think that we have additional classes. I think that you have to stick with the main stats. I don't think that you can get too far away from what classic WoW was. Because we've seen some crazy startups. Look at WildStar. WildStar crashed and burned. I actually played it the first 6 months.
I played it
was
too.
cool.
Yeah, I did too.
It was super fun, but it was
Dude,
like
it was.
and I'm not just a classic WoW fanboy, but I was like, this isn't the perfect storm. You didn't somehow strike gold with WildStar. What makes it any different than any other MMORPG? Like they had housing in class, and
that was very
cool,
interesting.
and I liked it, but it didn't strike a chord with me like classic WoW
Yeah.
did. So the next successful MMORPG, I think, is based around the same storyline of classic WoW. And then this is one of the funny things. Would it be? I don't think I'd want to see updated graphics. Maybe I would. I think it could work.
Skippy.
But I don't
like
know. I'm
updated
just
graphics.
We kind of are. Are
I
we
think
not?
We
Are
are getting updated graphics right now. I mean, we're
Yeah,
not getting like
Yeah, I was gonna say.
graphics. I don't think it would.
mean,
I don't think it'd do the game justice to have current day WoW graphics in it right now.
No.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, and real quick, Puzza, if you come in here to cause drama, man, nah, classic WoW for life, baby.
I mean, anybody who's gonna sit here and say classic WoW is gonna die, that's just falling on deaf ears, and the
Yeah.
proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, hands down. I also linked Gray's YouTube channel on both YouTube and Twitch, so
No,
check him out.
TBC, Wrath, man, you got options.
Yeah, check Gray's out for those dungeon guides. He does a great job. Few-minute dungeon guides are awesome.
Hey, Runs on Rice. I did an extensive guide on Scarlet Monastery Graveyard. It's coming out in a couple hours after.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for that shit, man. It's gonna be fun.
It's your boy,
Plug.
Grays for Days,
Plug.
making
Just
your
gonna plug each
extensive
other all
guide.
day.
Plug, plug.
No.
Jerk each other off in the corner.
Circle jerk, everyone.
Oh, god damn.
But
they're awesome. You
Yeah.
gotta check out Gray's.
But let's go back to if there was a
Thanks,
classic
man.
WoW
Thanks,
Plus, what kind of stuff would you
We
guys
try.
want to see?
Classic
Okay.
WoW Plus.
Grimbatol, just because it sounds funny, but also
Grimbatol.
Grimbatol and Oldham. Grimbatol and Oldham, because when I first started playing the game and my buddy was showing me around the world, he showed me Grimbatol because I knew it from the lore when I played Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, and even Warcraft and Warcraft 2 more actually. And I was like, hey, can we actually go up in there? Can we go and check it out? And he's like, no, unfortunately, it doesn't do anything. So he snuck his way up there with with a group of people and just showed me all the red dragons and all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, I can't really get past this gate. It's all blocked. I tried even doing once at 80, but yeah, no man. I would say Grimbatol and Oldham, because Oldham was the second place I discovered and found out you can't actually go in there, but you get the little swirling portal and everything. Like Grimbatol, actually, if you get up behind the wall, the gate has a swirling mechanic. Like it actually shows us an instant swirl. I'd love to have seen those actually like decked out and done proper for classic versus what we got in Kata. I don't necessarily hate what we got in Kata storyline wise, though. I would have preferred it for Forbidden. That's me.
Well, there was also.
Okay, go.
Oh no!
Thank you, Atacas. By the way.
No, it wasn't that he wasn't agreeing with me. I don't care if somebody agrees with me or not. It's the way that he was responding to everything we said. It's a little different. But what I was going to touch on was the what was it, Dark Whisper Gorge or whatever in Winter Spring. There's some portals there. What do those go to?
Yeah, and so there's this and all the content that we're bringing up, it's this unfinished content. Whether you want to call it that or not, I don't know if that was confirmed by Blizzard or not. But if we had a classic WoW Plus, sure, we finish out all these unfinished zones. How does that fulfill a classic plus? How long does that last? Does that bring us another year and a half, 2 years worth of content? I don't know if that's enough. I think it's like a plus 6 months. Like, is that really a classic plus? Do we need to see extra classes? Do we need to see extra cities? Do we need to see an extra couple races?
It's so hard.
You know, like, would you even? Yeah, and
I would say you almost get away from classic at that.
Yeah, because then it turns exactly, and so that's why everybody is so, we can't have classic plus, and I agree that it's huge concerns. You start adding anything to the game, yes, it's not going to be classic again. That perfect storm idea. I don't think that we can recreate what classic was, why it was so great. So yeah, it's a slippery slope as soon as you start doing that. I think that we have to go the trifecta. We have to go classic, BC, and Wrath, just so that. And I said this in one of our other podcasts, just so that the developers can get a feel for what the old developers thought of, how they developed the game.
Right?
Yeah,
well, I would almost like to see if we were to get that to have some petition where we got like Mike Kern involved, but also like if there's a lot of because a lot of the main developers have left at this point. The second co-founder just left Blizzard. He's getting into hedge funds, but that's another discussion. But like, if you could try to get those guys together, like I would say probably getting Mike Kern, probably getting like Chris Metzen, some impossible task that would be freaking awesome, just to sit down and be like, hey guys, what do you think about doing something like this? What are your thoughts if we were to go forward?
Listen to this. Listen to this, and you've seen current Blizzard. You guys saw the whole Classic WoW beta. I saw a news report. It was some community manager from Blizzard.
Thank you for the follow.
They were talking about how they're incorporating streamers in the development of the future games for their game. Like they are going to be game developers. Streamers are going to be game developers. Now, if that falls in line with the old school RuneScape line of play, where it was a community thing, you're going to vote on the content. That's your development. What do you think about? I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but not just streamers, but people from the community. I don't know how you would do it. They would become these game developers because there are tons of people that know everything inside and out of Classic, why it's great, why it's successful, and they have great propositions of what Classic WoW Plus could be, what the next MMORPG could be, right? And so that's why I want to see Classic sit. That's why I want the game developers to understand the game as much as all you guys have in the past. I think that there's some diehard players that have the ideas to make a Classic WoW 2.0. You just need the company behind you. You need the team behind you to execute those things. So
I just think I don't know where I was going with that. Super selective if they were to include anybody outside into, like, especially like streamers. People have a big fan base. Like,
you would see the soda puppets. You'd see you would see bigger streamers getting picked over smaller ones, and some
Yeah,
cases detrimental.
I don't think that's good.
Would they have enough time to help development of a game like that? I don't think they would. I think they would pick the streamers that they would like specifically go out and see that they have actual heart for the game. The big huge streamers don't have time for that. They have time for what's hot and what they can make money off of. Whereas they should be able to pick, for instance, like in my opinion, Kargos, hands down.
Yeah, I could say Kargos could be a good option for.
Exactly.
And that's where we need to take a page from. We need to take a page from old school RuneScape, where we have that ticketing system. Where I mean, I do realize that there's a duality where PvPers end up trying to dig over PvEers. But at the same time, like if you had that, and there's that way we can get a voice in the community. Like let's elect in a way, I guess, somebody to represent the classic WoW community's developers. But hey, it's just an idea. I think it'd be kind of cool. Sorry.
That would be cool, actually, to have two people from different parties running to be on the panel for developing a game. It's like, and for the PvP party, we have these candidates
for the alliance.
We're gonna go ahead and put you in an arena.
It's like
tea and crumpets.
That's Bone Reaver's Edge elephant.
Taijin 902 says they gotta make the games for the gamers, not the investors.
Edge?
Now, remember why Classic WoW was so successful? It's because I've kind of heard the story from bits and pieces of videos, what I've seen, but you had a group of Dungeons and Dragons players who wanted to make a game that wasn't out there. They didn't have a game that they could sink their teeth into. They made the game that they wanted to play, right? And so that's the only way we're going to get another Classic WoW success, another vanilla success, is if you have the game developed by people who want to play a second game. People that they love Classic to death, but they've played 20 years of it, dude. Let's get another one, dude. I want another fresh experience. I don't know what it's going to be like. Like I said, if it's going to be that Classic WoW Plus or a completely different genre of MMORPG. But yeah, you have to have people that want to make the game that they want to play.
Yeah. Hands down. That's what the developers were all about, man. Back in Classic, they wanted to make a game they wanted to play. And that's why I was really worried when we just lost, one of the main developers that was back then.
And for some reason, those psychopaths made every dungeon long as hell.
But I love those dungeons. Are you kidding? BRD is a stamped classic. Stamped forever.
Coco, man. Calm down there.
Best. One of the best dungeons, man.
We are here to chat. We are here to discuss. We're not here to rip on one another.
You get a timeout for that. You keep acting like that, you get banned.
Well, just let's be civil here, man. We're literally here to talk and chat. We're not here to rip on people.
Retail could be good if they changed their priorities. What do you mean by that, 101?
Oh, I know exactly where you might be getting at this. Because I was thinking about this the other day. Their priorities right now are about
About what?
As possible.
Your
microtransactions. Sorry.
Yeah, true. They're just all about making money, which, I mean, they're a business. You would expect that. But
priorities. No, he's talking about retail change their priorities. If I believe he's going on the.
I won't get you banned.
I believe he's going about the same standpoint of what could retail currently do to bring back some of that magic from Classic and make people come over.
Shops.
Yeah, again,
and I could even say even a 3-sided faction here by
Ooh, 3-sided faction.
A 3-sided faction. Like I think right now, we know current day WoW might go to a spot where we'll end up having no longer like a faction line, horde, and alliance. It'll be joint.
I mean, they just had Battle for Azeroth, which was the most, I know I don't want to say it, the most successful selling expansion ever.
It technically was.
Hilarious.
No matter how disgusting
hilarious, yeah, it was, but now their
that's
subscribers is terrible, but not terrible, but still.
But still, like to me, that shows that it wasn't the game that sold them that, it was the marketing, because
exactly,
because that's what they were saying, is like, we're going back to the way it was. Horde versus Alliance, and then that's why everyone quit, because it wasn't like that.
What could they do to bring back that? They were like Horde versus Alliance, like that was their selling point for Battles for Azeroth. What could they do to bring back that type of feel, actual feel, not just we're just selling it?
Okay, kind of having Horde versus Alliance, I guess, would kind of be there, but like at this point, I don't know what they could do to try to bring back that actual feel, because the storyline is going away from Classic WoW. Like, it's becoming its own entity, especially with the singular faction.
Entirely, because they don't have anything to go on. I mean, they're just They're riding on horseback, just fucking making it up as they go now.
Like I said earlier in this stream, retail is a different game than classic. It's literally a different genre, in my opinion. It's hard to
100%.
It's hard to compare the two. So I don't ever see a revival for retail. I see retail becoming its own success. I see it just it's never going to be classic. That's why we're bringing classic back, right?
Yeah.
It's something after classic. I think retail is just, it's too far gone, and it's fine. It's great. It is what it is. People like it. They enjoy it. Let's just leave it at that. I don't really want to see a revival of retail. Personal opinion, but granted, it is the game that a lot of people have, their original accounts on. There's something about that. Like people have invested their life, the last 15 years, into a retail account. How many of those people are still there? I'm not sure. Like, especially with the announcement of Classic coming back, I think people have just sailed ship and reset, and they're waiting for Classic now. But I don't know. I just think it's a different game.
Oh, sorry. Is everyone? Are we frozen? Okay, cool. Never mind. It got quiet for a second there. I was replying to something that Taijin. Like, hopefully, retail can learn from Classic WoW. I fully believe that they're going to. Like, they're trying this experiment because they want to see what their player base wants, because a lot of times with running analytics, things get muddied. So like I can look at what I do for my day, and we get so many different numbers thrown at us about how things are coming and what issues are coming and all this stuff. And a lot of times we're like, it's this issue, it's this issue. No, those issues are the most irritating. The actual main issues, this one. But at the end of the day, there's still this really irritating issue we're not addressing. So like Blizzard may be seeing all of these numbers and going, what's the big one people are complaining about right now? Let's focus on that one thing, because they can't multitask on all of it. That's why you got like people complaining about like PvP systems not being balanced enough. That's why you got people freaking out about gear loot like distribution, and why they added that is because people were complaining heavily about it at that time. Yeah. And they have very narrow vision. Blizzard needs to open up their field of vision, and they need to see what other people are talking about, because it's really easy just to pick the highest level conversation and go, what are people talking about right there? So
yeah,
the retail kids will not like the grind. They're going to try the game out and literally just
go by runs of rice here. He's saying retail will always remain more popular than classic, though. The play style of classic is way too bland and slow.
I would say, okay, that's a debate. But I will say, I can say it's easier for newer players to pick up current day WoW and understand the mechanics of the game versus playing classic.
Well, here's the thing.
Classic is a lot more, tedious.
The playstyle in Classic, when it may be bland, dulled down, and everything.
Don't ban me. You're not going to be banned, Ruin.
We haven't banned anyone, by the way. We've only timed people out.
Like, literally, I need to get a. Basically, don't be a dick. Like, we had one guy calling Grays a fucker, but he's just basically saying he's a
Grays,
which is not cool. Like, and then we had another guy who's coming in here trying to rip on Classic WoW
and runs,
trying to stop.
And that's the thing. Like, okay, what you said is fine. Like, you're not being a dick by expressing your opinion. That's the point we're making. But either way, the playstyle may be bland and slow, but the reward is so much more than in retail. Like, when you get an epic in retail, how do you feel? You're just like, and somebody just followed or subscribed on YouTube. Thank you very much for that. I don't know who it is because my shit's taking forever. But when you're like, you get an epic in retail, you're just like, meh, cool, whatever. It doesn't even do anything for your stats really. And then, but when you get a freaking green weapon in the level 10 bracket in vanilla, it is like a godsend. You go from hitting for like 15 to hitting for like 40. And that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But
so Switch, okay, right here. This is a prime example of somebody who needs to get a time. Hello, I'm a homosexual. Classic WoW is dead on arrival. The community wants classic Minecraft.
I think that's just a 10 out of 10 troll right there.
That's a 10 out of 10 troll right there.
That is the best troll I've seen all day. Holy shit!
Sir. Round of applause, people, real quick. Switch Switchy5. Thank you, sir.
Call him out with that troll.
Don't give him attention. Don't give him attention. Everyone ignore him.
Anyway, thank you for the subscription, Madzia Nitkin. Yeah, I can't say all that, but thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Let's see. Dead of Night says, retail will be easier to pick up and play. Classic will be easier even for casuals to get sucked into and lose years of their life. That's true. because, and this ties back to, this is what I've talked about before, is that it ties back to us like an actual
I hate the RNG.
psychological problem with Classic WoW, is because the hardness of like going through the grind.
They're trying to hook you up here, Atacas.
The grind is actually like, it's hard. It takes a long time to do, and then when you do get a reward, it makes it so rewarding that you want to keep playing. Like, I was playing Rust last night. That game is very high risk, high reward, right? I had a bow versus a guy with a shotgun and another guy with a python, and I ended up killing them both. Python revolver, it's like a Magnum revolver. I ended up killing them both, but that shit keeps me coming back. As much as I hate that game, that feeling when I took two people by myself, under geared, and they're like just outgunning me like crazy, but I was able to do it, like that, it keeps me wanting to come back and play the game. And it's the same thing with Classic WoW. Like, the leveling process and like doing a dungeon and getting a freaking drop, like even just Cobran's Grasp, that freaking belt is so good for a level 17 warrior or whatever. It's like, oh my god, it's so good. But
thank you.
But yeah, I mean, like, that is a problem, is that the grind to reward ratio is so drastic that it will suck you in. And yes, you feel invested in your character as well as in the community. That's a huge aspect too. Everybody quiet? What's going on?
Everyone's quiet for a second. Sorry, I'm reading chat. I'm catching up on some stuff here.
I'm reading chat too. It's messing me up.
Oh my god.
Hey, Big Tuna's pretty cool too, man. I see him all the time. I haven't watched a lot of his streams though. He's a cool guy.
Big fan of Tuna.
Yeah, big fan of Tuna. Yeah.
Big Tuna.
Big Tuna. But yeah, no. And for those who in chat, if you're worried, like I know runs on. Again, just like don't be like that one guy. Like, you can come in here, give us your opinion. I want to talk to you about it, but don't be a dickhead. Like,
yeah.
Just don't want to put. It's not what we're here for. We're here to have a good time. We're not here to deal with, you know.
Oh yeah, hands down.
We've dwelled on that enough.
That's what
talking.
the original. Yeah. This is the original.
So
us four just talking about WoW.
So we've talked enough about Classic WoW 2.0. Let's go back to preparations that we are making, still can make.
So I think Grays and myself have hit on it. Atacas, Pohgren. Need your opinions on what you've been doing lately, not real life, but within the game atmosphere to prepare you
for
Classic WoW.
Okay, so specifically playing on Retro WoW and having fun trying out PvP. That's definitely something I'm going to continue doing. That's definitely giving me my my mindset and what I want to do.
I need you to do that with me later tonight, by the way. So.
And everyone else, what are your in-game preparations?
Yeah, let us know. We'll talk
from
about
Classic.
It.
Yep.
In-game, perhaps not out.
Or if you have any questions for us on how to prepare, like I'm doing a lot of out of the game prepping. Like I'm doing a lot of like getting my body right, getting like to the peak performance I can be, so that whenever I slack off, I'll still be at like medium performance. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be at somewhat adequate.
I'll be like instead of like just kind of fat ass, I'll be like super fat ass. But sorry, Pohgren, I cut you off. Continue.
No, you're good. No, you're good, man. I mean, we got this cuckoo guy who's actually wants to put Grays on a spit. So, oh boy, that got awkward.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, there you go. Don't threaten us with a good time.
No, Pohgren, go ahead though. Don't even worry about it.
Seriously, don't threaten us with a good time. Now what I was saying is, so continuing to do the PvP stuff on the side, just to get the hang of it, because I don't want to go through a server where I have to level up. Especially this level 60 thing is just definitely giving me a lot of ideas on how to build my character going forward.
Are you still coming with us though?
Oh no, we're going to still follow you guys to server-wise. So my guild will follow you guys.
Good.
We'll follow you guys there.
Good. I'll be there, brother.
We'll definitely be there.
I'll take anything you want, brother.
If you guys got time, I'll definitely go. We'll go ahead and pull you. I definitely got some pretty solid people on my side too. So like, we good, man. But I'm gonna definitely like. So besides that, I'm also gonna be working with my guild. I'm gonna be getting my guild together. We got another guild meeting tomorrow. We're gonna be sitting down powwowing. It's kind of
just
like
a full 40-man fledged out.
We have about 50 some odd people actually in the guild in total now.
There you go.
We have, I think we're just shy of a 40 though, because we have some casual players too that I want.
Right. You gotta curve for Fallout.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen. It will happen.
And that's fine. Like right now, I'm not gonna worry about it because I don't think we're gonna raid until probably the second month. We'll probably be raiding at the second month. I'm not gonna try to pull like a fucking week one clear like Thermopile in his guild, which is nuts. I can't wait to see him do it. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Just our guild.
Also, Horde for life. We are all Horde players. Deal with it.
We are Horde players over here.
So yeah, no, working with my guild, working on my
Look,
PvP, doing class research when I can. I'm having a really hard time working on videos right now because I normally wrote scripts and stuff when I was at work. But I've been banned from using YouTube and anything that's not work related on my computer. So
Dude, that was me too.
it's a little
so
sad.
real.
It's complete bullshit. But they know I'm leaving, so they're kind of cracking down on me a little bit. So it's like, okay, whatever.
That's so funny though.
There's a lot
You
behind
know, you
it.
can get around that. Just hit me up. I'll help you get around that.
I definitely could use your help sometime, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna hopefully I'll have another video out this weekend if I have time at all ever to do it. That's what my hope was originally, but now I'm thinking I'm crazy, man. I can't do this shit. So, but yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. And then we needed to hear from Atacas specifically.
Yes, Atacas.
Real quick, Magoose in my YouTube says, I know some people frown upon dual boxing, but it isn't against TOS, is it? I wanted to level 2 characters kind of.
No, not for Classic. It's not against TOS.
What's against TOS, I think, is like doing the whole like anchoring on one, and it's like 4 elemental shamans or something. I think that they are against that maybe, but either way, you should be fine as long as you're not exploiting in some way.
In Classic, you're good, yeah.
Yeah, but as far as like me for preparation, like I'm at this point, like I've got a ton of real life friends that are trying to be in this guild with me, and I'd say we're probably going to be raiding in like week 3-ish. I want to say that, like generously speaking. But because like I know a lot of my friends that I'm gonna be playing with are the people that I've been playing with since Classic and all the other iterations of the game. So we're an older group. We don't have the time to set aside. I mean, I made the time because I'm a psychopath, but everybody else has got like more realistic jobs they've got to get to. But I'm trying right now to pull everyone together and get them, actually in the roster for my guild and whatnot, just so I can see what all we've got, what we're working with, and continue to move forward with that. But aside from that, it's just a lot of like I'm trying to figure out like my one friend that's going to be playing with me and going to be leveling alongside of me. I'm trying to get him to jump onto some kind of server with me and do the practice runs like in the level 10 place, so we can figure out what to do if certain areas are overcrowded and we need to like go find something else to do, because like
message me on that if you need it.
Have probably,
you not
honestly.
you haven't been you have okay, that's fine, just message me on that.
I can do it on any server because it's going to be so low. Like I don't have to be on any like bad server or like a privately owned server. Like I can do it on like Lightbringer or whatever. I just need to like actually test it out. But it's like pulling teeth to get him on a private server because he's super stubborn.
Well, that's why I figured on more of this side of things, you can have GM commands and be like, oh, you died, res. Something of that nature.
Aside from that, it's just getting money together. Like I'm actually looking at buying a house soon as well. So
that's real, man.
Take that into consideration as far as like I don't want to get in the house before Classic comes out. It's not going to happen. Obviously, it's only a month away, but I also don't want to have to be doing stuff to deal with the house stuff.
It's right at a month.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing stuff to like, oh, you're in the middle of playing Classic WoW. Well, I need you to come sign these papers for this house. Like, no, sorry, can't do that. But
sorry, I'm raiding with my group.
Deal with it. I'm sorry.
No, if it was a raid, I'd be like, fuck off. But if it was in the first 2 weeks, then yeah, no, I'm playing WoW. Like if it's just a raid, I'm sorry, y'all got to deal with me not raiding for that minute. But
welcome to the raid. Sorry.
Welcome to the raid.
Welcome to the raid. No, welcome to the stream there, buddy. And Tuna, welcome to the stream as well, man.
Yeah, good to see you, Tuna.
So we normally do this on Thursdays. It's a little kind of there's normally Good Morning Azeroth done by Def Camp Melderon. We're the sister kind of group to it. We do the Good Nights. We normally, finish out the evening with a quick little video.
Did they even do a Good Morning Azeroth?
No, they haven't been doing them as often anymore.
Haven't been, as often. Yeah, sorry.
Because there's been stuff going on right now, especially with Cargos doing doing the what was it, the Red Bull streams? What was it?
Red Bull streams. He has been an actual stream caster. You know what the funniest thing? I'll just put a little snippet for this. The funniest thing is, he's been doing the Red Bull casting for the world first mythic of the latest content that just came out in Battle for Azeroth, the mythic modes. He came in with a sports jacket on and looking fucking fly as shit.
That's how you do it, man.
The actual sportscasters who were there, like the two that were actually there, were like in like somewhat decent like dress shirts.
All right, guys,
and
listen up.
Hilarious to see like the next day those same sport captains coming in with a full fucking jacket.
Yep.
He's changing the meta of the fucking like he did, dude. It was so funny.
That's real.
Like,
I was just getting ready to say, from now on, guys, I expect you all at least in a button-down shirt, blazer.
No, man,
preferred,
Pikachu.
No, dog. No. We gotta bump our game up. We gotta set ourselves aside.
We gotta be full sportscasting. Like, we gotta.
Chat. No, you didn't break the buddy. Don't worry.
No. So we were talking about preparations for Classic WoW. Me, Hypnotic, the four of us have already gone through prep for the game. I will say more in-game prep, not necessarily outside prep. What we're doing, but
we've done both.
Some of the best in-game prep is not prepping at all. You've heard that before. It's very cliche. But that's kind of what my answer was earlier with Hypnotic. We're doing our guild is doing MC raids and preparing for that week 1 clear. And I'm kind of like, I want to save the full experience for the official game.
And I'll hit on that just a little bit. So, in my opinion, if you are playing a class you aren't super familiar with, and if you're thinking like, oh, this is the class I want to play for Classic. Remember, Classic, at least in my opinion, takes significantly more amount of time than any other expansion that ever has existed to get to max level, to actually gear out, to do anything like that. It's substantial amount of time. And if you have time right now, try and get on one of these P servers. Try and get somewhere where you can get some practice in with that class you want to play. If it's not the same class you originally came with, and you're
promoting this? You're promoting this, Hypnotic?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
To do what now?
I would say otherwise.
In my opinion, it's if you want a new experience.
See, and this is what scares me.
Except for like the small stuff, like maybe doing what I'm doing. Don't burn yourself out. Go ahead and
No, I don't want you to burn yourself out. I want you to
I
at least get on a P server and try it.
See, I think that's crazy.
I don't want you to waste that time. Well, I don't want to waste that time. And this is great though, because it's like I don't want you to waste time if you're like signing up for a guild. Honestly, there's a lot. If you're semi-serious about Classic, you probably signed up for a guild on a website. You probably looked into Discord. You probably looked into some of us. You probably been like, oh, what guild are they going into? We want to join that. If you're feeling it out, like a guild's putting somewhat pressure, like, hey, could you go warrior? Could you go rogue? Jump on a private server. Try it out. Try it out to the point of, a little bit 20 to 30 range. You don't have to go super max ape shit mode. I'm just saying, in my opinion, you do not know what that class feels like until at least a minimum of level 40.
Right.
To get the actual aspect of what it feels like.
Real quick, Tuna, thanks for the follow on Twitch, and Obi-Gun Kenobi, thanks for the sub on YouTube.
Obi-Gun Kenobi.
Hey, Tuna, I'm just glad you're in the stream, man. I'm glad we're gonna have some people on.
Nuts, man. This is pretty awesome. I'm glad to have.
Yeah, I totally want to collab at some point. I'm just glad you know of us.
You know of us, yeah.
We exist.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for finding us. We exist.
We're here. But
it's just weird that you're advocating for people to try out these other classes on private servers. It goes so against what I remember, and it goes so against
time though.
No, it is. And
how much time?
I'm trying to think. People talk about. I've heard people of influence talk about how you're gonna level a paladin up and you're gonna realize they pissed.
Okay.
What was that?
You cut out for a second. What was that? You said paladin what?
Oh no, I've heard people of influence on a platform talk about how you're gonna level a certain class, whether it's paladin, and you're gonna be pissed that you're gonna realize all you can do is heal. You can't tank. You can't do certain things. It's not going to be a bad experience, but it depends on how you want to play the game, because many. What I was going to say is I'm scared for other people that are just kind of jumping into this and they don't know what guild they're going to be a part of, what kind of raiding environment they're going to get in, and if they do roll a paladin, and all they can do is
get hit
heal,
with the roadblock,
and their raid's not going to let you be a retribution paladin. yeah, you're gonna be
roadblock.
Well, that's been one of the issues surrounding S-Fans' whole thing for a while, is that everyone's like, you know, you're giving all these people false hope that like they're gonna be able to raid as Rhett, and it was like, even like when he was doing,
you should be able to. I mean,
you should be able to, but
he was
like
able to rock it.
when he did though, he wasn't, you know, he wasn't one of the best raiders, like, or best DPS. I mean, like, he was a good raider because he did all these other support things, but like, people brought him in because they liked his personality and like how he helped out and everything, and and so it's just that you've got to look at things objectively. You still have to look at it from the like actual fact point of view of like what the class is for. So as long as you're
hardcore, you'd have to go.
Yeah. So what you've got to be, you just have to be aware of what the thing is for your class.
Right. Well, I really am. I'm worried about people that aren't in the situation that I am in, because I'm in a raiding environment of people that I trust and people that I know, and I'm gonna be able to play whatever I want. I think that you can clear raid content with any classes that you bring to the raid. It just depends on what environment you're in.
Yeah.
Like if you have, I'm scared that people aren't gonna find a raiding group that's gonna let them in time. You're gonna get to play what you want. You're gonna be able to raid to your highest potential. As in, you're gonna be able to receive the loot that you want and raid on a week-to-week basis. I'm scared for people that play specific classes such as Ret Paladin.
Yeah. So, Grays, I'll just bounce it off real quick. I'll just name it off real fast for you. So, going off what he was saying, for instance, within myself and Grays's guild, within our raid group, even specifically, we have a DPS priest. We have a ranged DPS shaman. We have a chicken freaking druid, and this is on the main roster, by the way. This is on the main roster. This is the actual group. So we got a elemental shaman. We have a shadow priest, and we have a chicken, and we also have let's see. We have one more meme spec, I believe.
But here,
that's what the deep is, like, meme specs, and I'm like,
let me interject.
They have
this.
their benefits.
They do have their benefits. The people you're playing with are all well versed. They are all pretty much on the hardcore spectrum, correct?
Not specifically within our group. I would say those people who have adequated that they want to play these specific classes will be going 20 to 30% harder than the remainder of the group.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well,
so
I'm saying, like,
you
guys are all like
that they have to try it. They have to put more effort in.
That's
to
true.
Do that
that's true.
group.
But here's what I'm saying though, like,
and that's true.
Those people are going to be.
That's true.
Those people are all in that group are all going to be more versed in the game and whatnot. So they're just gonna be able to handle doing more than they need to do to make up to compensate and whatnot. But what's going on though is that like that might not be the case for every person, like the Joe Blow who joins a random guild with people who aren't at that level, and even if they do down the content, it's going to be a struggle, or could be a struggle for them. And psychologically speaking, how much do you think those people are going to want to give gear to those people that are playing the meme specs and not performing as well? You get what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
but that's going to be the majority of the guilds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like that, all I'm saying is that like I don't like the promotion of play the meme spec because you should be able to do whatever you want to do, because the game is just not designed that way.
Yeah.
No, and I'm learning that the hard way too when it comes to trying to figure out DPS. So like enhancement DPS shaman without having to be a main support for the game, the raid. There's a way in which I can do it, but I think it's going to come ultimately at the detriment of my raid group, and I'd rather not do that. I'd rather focus on being.
It depends who you got.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
it depends on who I have playing.
If you can get some proper gear, Nightfall. If you can do that, and you can be that.
I wouldn't even have Nightfall, dude. I would need something like my ultimate goal would be get like I think it's Dark Edge of Insanity.
Dark Edge of Insanity. Yeah, if you can get that would be Insanity, and you can drop that Wind Fury Totem, and then you could put out some DPS. You could be there. But that's at the high end. See, that's at the high end of the rare chance. So that's what Atacus was coming back to, is like these types of mean speps we're expecting within Invictus being, we're on the more casual side, but at the same time these
You got to be realistic.
people we have, yeah, exactly. We have these people know they need to put a 20 to 30% more effort than just their own standard class. But at the same time, there is something to say about people within a class that can actually put out numbers. So for instance, I have a warrior group going on just after we're done here. I'm summoning the Sidewinder warrior group together, which is 7 of us, to go over exactly what each warrior needs to be doing. Do you need a spec for improved battle shout? Do you need a spec for improved demo shout? Do you need to? It comes down to specifics, and that's within each raid group, and that
Sorry,
and that comes
funny.
down. No, for real. I mean, that's how hard I take this. Even though we're in a more casual group, the best part about being a casual group is we have so much time to prepare. It's like,
Yeah.
we may not have the absolute epic gear and crazy stuff
Yeah.
going in,
Mhm.
but
You know,
we have
I'm,
the prep time. The
I'm
prep
kind of
time is
having
key.
like an epiphany or like a realization. Like I have this tunnel vision on you should play whatever you want come classic. You should be able to do whatever you want and you should be happy about it. And people should accept you, right? And this is kind of the mindset that I have because I'm joining if you want to call it casual, it's a casual guild because you're going to be able to play whatever you want and we're still going to clear the content. But again, that comes with the point that we have experienced players, we have people that have communities, such as, I mean, Def Camp and Melderon are going to be leaders of our raid, right? These are people that are forming a healthy community that's going to allow you, to play this. And so that's kind of like, I'm spoiled. I'm freaking off tanking as a feral druid in our raid group.
We're casual, but our casual in Invictus. Sorry to interrupt you, Grace.
No.
Our casual within Invictus is going to be about what a normal 40-man looks like.
Not
in my
they're
opinion.
not going to go full poop sock rating. They're looking.
No, we're not. But we're going to look to
Decent rating.
progress,
Oh,
but
we're gonna
also have
progress,
a
though.
shit ton of fun. You guys got to be there. You got to be there. It's
Well,
like
I gotta really
fun,
agree
man.
with what Thermophile says here. Is someone who is dedicated enough to make a meme spec somewhat viable is the kind of person you want in a raid.
Exactly.
In a guild because
Exactly.
they would be dedicated to any guild
Hands down.
that gives them gear.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Hands down.
That's
Well,
why I like having these
I like
people. Like a lot of the people in my guild right now are talking about what they want to do on the side or what they want to try to make viable. Like I got a bunch of druids. Like I got Cabe. Like right now I have Cabe from Classic AZEROTH. He's part of my guild right now along with some of his buddies. They're gonna be like he wants to do Resto Druid, but deep down inside I also know he wants to make element. Oh my god, what am I saying here?
Elemental Shaman?
Boomkin. Boomkin.
Oh,
Right.
Boomkin. Chicken.
He wants to make chicken viable. Well, not actually going chicken, but that spec. I can't remember the name of the spec off the top of my head.
It's chicken
Viable.
spec.
It's chicken spec.
Balance.
It's balance.
Balance. Thank you. He wants to, I know. So there's people who want to make that balance
Chicken spec.
viable, or at least try to make some.
Well, another
Dead of
thing.
Night said, "I'm not casual. My situation and the time to play limits me, but I'm gonna go hard with the time that I have." And you know that's a unique situation that I'm in. I'm gonna be taking 7 hours of school. I'm gonna be living by myself, doing this 24/7. I'm gonna be able to off tank, and like Thermophile said, dude, I'm almost like shit in my pants. Like I'm kind of scared to off tank.
Fine, brother.
I know, but in a raid, like that's a lot of responsibility. It's gonna make
really
me
is, though.
prepare. It's gonna make me gear up. It's gonna make me get all the consumes. It's gonna make me get all the stupid manual crowd pummelers that I need. Just to experience what it's like to be an off tank as a druid.
Yes.
In classic,
And
you know, and so
just to inform you, Grace, Dead of Night is our mage
Yes.
class
yeah, no, I know, Dead of Night.
leader.
He's a homie.
for- Yeah, he's our. We have seven or eight. I think we have 8 mages now signed up for our raid group. So he's going to be our class lead, which I specifically chose him because of his aspects.
Yeah,
and what
Dead
he
of
wants
Night's
to
a beast
do
again. He's
to
good.
be our class lead for our mages. So it's very interesting. I just want to make sure you knew that. I wasn't sure if you knew that, Grace. So.
Okay, so for all the people watching and maybe that you don't have experience with, I don't know the answer to this question that I'm going to propose, but what does it take to make a meme spec viable? What does it take to make?
Oh my god.
You get what I'm saying? So
Far more
lot of-
consumables.
I'm gonna have the time. I'm gonna have the time to do it. I know that there's a way, but time restraints, like Dead of Night said, he really might not be able to play certain classes, just because he can't afford it. What does
Grace,
it
what do you think? It's
What
you.
does it take to make
It's
a
a
meme
you. You're paying. You're
Well,
playing.
I'm doing
somewhat.
off tank druid, and I'm
It's
needing to
somewhat of
be. I'm needing to be raid ready and molten by week 5, right?
Yes.
Dude, that's easy in my opinion. I'm just gonna do. I'm
Easy,
not well versed.
but-
I'm not well versed with the in-game content in vanilla. Just that
But how much? But how much is normal easy to a normal person that would have 10, 15,
Yes.
maybe 20 max? That's like
Hours a
normal
week?
person. 20 max is like a week. Like 20 hours max would be like
Right. No, I'm gonna be playing like 100 hours. A week.
exactly. So a normal person is like maybe
Right.
20 max if they stretch it. If they like lose a couple hours of sleep here and
Yeah,
there during
that's what I'm
work
saying.
week.
What
You
does
know?
it take to make it
So
work?
real quick,
What does
one of the things that really has a drastic impact on having meme specs in your raid is similar to what Scarm said in one of his videos he just recently put out, is that it's timing everyone's cooldowns correctly.
Yep.
Like he
That
was talking
that was-
about in Nax, he joined up with a guild that he had never ran before, and they were on, I can't remember what boss, Noth, one that teleports. It's Noth or Hygen or something like that. Noth, yeah. Anyway, so teleports, and he was like, with everyone's gear like this, we should be able to get it down before he teleports. But then they get him at 30% before he teleports, and then they ended up. That was just absurd. Like that's not.
And
how
that
it
was
should
with
be.
world cooldowns. That
And
was with
everything.
all the world cool.
And
that
then-
was like
And then he's like, okay, but I'm gonna come back. Next week he
Next
comes
week.
back and he's like, all right, guys, this is what we need to do. We need to, have all of our cooldowns ready at this point, and then I'll tell when everyone to pop them. And then he did that. Everyone popped their cooldowns, and they killed him like 15 seconds before he was supposed to teleport. And when last week, same people, same gear, 30%. So that's like
and he said
another
mainly
big.
that was warriors, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's just a big
And-
aspect of it, is just like having things led properly. So even if you have meme specs, then you still can make it
That's
work
true.
with proper
That's true.
leadership and proper preparation. So even if you don't have the best gear, I mean,
Yeah.
the mana is the biggest issue for most of them. And
Oh hell yeah!
you just have to farm the right stuff for that. You have to have mana
And-
pots, you have to have dark runes, you have to have the demonic runes, like everything that you can think of just to give yourself mana to keep DPSing.
Keep that edge.
multiple gears, multiple sets of gear. Being able to have macro on, like, your macro game has to be on point for some of these. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to learn quite a few macros, and especially if I'm trying to down rank some of my DPS spells.
Nice.
Like,
Nice.
having that's going to be big, because if I'm going to need to do totem twisting on certain fights more than others, I need to have that mana. And mana per 5 only adds it, like, being able to use the 5-second rule is only so good.
Yeah.
So, like, looking at some of the gear choices and kind of, Thermophile brought this up to me last night, maybe not going, like, because I went full ham on DPS and attack speed and stuff like that for my, not attack speed, but hit and crit chance. Like, right now, with some of the gear, actually some of the pieces he gave,
Within
he
the
chose me to have.
DPS wise.
DPS wise, like, I mean, my critical strike chance was at 27%, but my hit rate was not high enough
Yeah.
for me to do just auto attacks on alone because there was not the gear for.
Right.
At least not until like much later in. That's kind of the hard part here, is I have to realize that probably I'm not gonna be able to make this as viable as I'd like it to be until AQ40 probably.
Real quick, I want to know, everybody in the chat, how many hours are you planning on playing for Classic?
Talking about
I'm just
during
curious. I
launch
want to
or after?
spitball.
Once everything's died down, or when it's coming
Right.
out the gate swinging.
I want to
Maybe-
know launch.
maybe
I want to
for the
know
first
launch.
2
I want to
weeks,
see
how many
those
hours a week,
aspects.
and then on average, what are you gonna play a week? I'm
Well,
just curious.
During launch, for me, we've talked about it, at least 24 hours in the first day, possibly longer if I can
Yeah.
stick it out. Just depends.
You're
'cause-
popping. You're popping
will.
that.
160
Is that-
hours
is
a
that-
week.
Popping that attack
About
bar.
0.
But
Attack buff.
after that, I'll probably try to sleep. Like I'm honestly, like, I've been really like tracking my sleep
Yeah.
lately to see like what I can get away with when I'm working out hard, and like
Say 6
because I'm
hours.
pushing myself like way harder in the gym now, and even as hard as I'm pushing myself and eating more and everything, I'm surviving just fine with 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and it's probably just
Hundreds.
my age, the way I'm at, because like that just changes. It fluctuates throughout.
Who would have known?
It just changes your as you get older, like it just fluctuates with how much sleep you need
Yeah.
or whatever. But
And-
I'm
and
like,
sorry to reiterate back to your standpoint, Atticus, what you were saying for as far as prep goes when you go into meme specs and stuff of that nature. We were just hitting on. I just really wanted to get this point out there that if you have any doubt in your mind that your group is not doing something adequately, or you feel like your class has something to give to that, 110% bring it up to your raid leader, bring it up to your class lead, bring it up to whoever is there to support that raid, because honestly, I'm gonna be main tanking for Grays. Grays will be right there with me, off tanking. We'll be right there, rolling these huge bosses in and out, man. And honestly, I have no idea about a lot of classes within Classic. I've been playing WoW for 15 years. Yeah. I honestly cannot say I remember freaking 20% of what other classes. Yeah, well, what other classes are even capable of. Right. So if you have any feedback, if you're like on like the third or fourth poll, like, and I'm talking like right away, like the first time you're an MC and they're like, oh shit, we're gonna change this up, be like, yo, hey, priests can do this, you know, hey, we should come over here, all range should be over here instead of over there because of so and so. Bring it up. There's honestly, there's so much knowledge out there that's a lot of us do have no idea about, that we need to be made aware of. Now, I'm not saying specifically with Invictus, but I'm saying with a lot of guilds, especially coming back into Classic WoW, there's so many people who have no idea what specific classes can do. For instance, it's like, oh, druids, oh, they can't res. That's not a thing. They can battle res. They can res within combat, right. But outside of combat, there's no res. They can't just res you up in a 5-man group. That's one of those things in Classic that is like, what? You'd come in and be like, what? You can't res? No, they can't res. They get one res and that's it. Like,
yeah, so. I'm getting a lot of 20 hours, 4 days a week. Dragon said first week 120 hours.
120 hours?
Still on cooldown. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Well, that's what I was saying, was that I'd be like 24 or more the first day, and then sleep for 6, and then get 12. Back on and grind for at least 18, and then sleep for 6, 18, sleep for 6, or something like that.
I'm a little scared. Like, I'm going to college, and I've got 2 classes I need to go to that first week. I think that I'm planning my sleep schedule during those classes, and I'm a little worried about not getting enough sleep.
Oh, God, man.
2 classes, that's it?
Dagging. Well, dude, I went part-time for Classic WoW, dude. Oh, like, Classic WoW was real. I got 1 semester left, but I turned it in 2 because...
I mean, I'm planning on going to the gym to make sure I'm planning on, working out between fucking...
Not the first week, though.
Oh, not the first week, but after that, yes, to keep alive.
If you die, Pohgren, do 10 push-ups at least.
How many pounds are you gonna gain? Okay.
So here's my problem right now. Like right now, I'm still pushing 260 from.
That's it, right there.
I've been in chat. How many?
I'm gonna gain 260 pounds.
Serious.
In 6 months, how many pounds are you gonna gain?
Life for Classic. Oh my God, bro.
Dude, the last 6 months I gained 25 pounds.
Iron Man.
Trying to do YouTube and
25
stuff.
Where?
Not that I'm
stand up for a second. Where'd you
between the
it?
legs.
No, I'm 6 foot.
You don't want to see
just
it.
in the stomach. You don't. Yeah, you can see it. It's fine.
Like, where is it? What?
No. I think that what I want someone to do is to I want someone to do a time lapse of all the streamers' faces, all their body features, and a year after, like compare 2019 to 2020.
With that fucking Enya song playing in the background.
Oh my God, that's Russia hacking your shit, by the way. Don't do the face app.
Only time.
Russia.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. We're
that
nearing
is
the end of it here.
Thermo.
We got about 5 minutes left here, so let's move towards the wrap up here.
Closing discussion. What do we have on closing discussion? What are we talking
I have no idea anymore on closing discussion. This entire wild ride's been all.
Yeah, it's been a fucking roller coaster tonight.
It's been a hell of a stream.
It's always been a roller coaster, man. This is how we do, man.
I'm telling you, I shit you not, like probably like not over my stream, but definitely at least playing from my phone during the whole first day. I'm just gonna be blasting Live to Win. It's like the 10-hour video.
Real quick, we can end on that, guys. What do you think about the first week? I'm really scared. I want to get to 60 as quickly as possible. Obviously, it's not going to be the way that I want to play it, nice and slow. Smell the roses along the way, dude. I freaking committed, and I'm kind of scared, and I think my dude's gonna watch this quick. Play if you're out there. He has a grinding session set up for me, and he wants to grind 5 days straight, and I'm really scared. I'm kind of nervous about burning out. I'm kind of nervous of how it's gonna go. I haven't had any experience on
What kind of grinding?
Dude, literally just grinding in the world. We have a couple dungeon spots, but also just 2-man grinding. And it's scattered 1 to 60, and I'm just scared. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You're gonna be fine, because what's gonna happen is kind of how you got that 24-hour stream. You gotta start doing it, man, and then it's not gonna be like any time passed at all. You'll be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. It was fun. Like, you're gonna do it with somebody you're probably gonna have a lot of fun with.
So
you're relaxed.
So Grays, you have a kind of a duo partner.
That's right, it's a partner.
No, yeah, absolutely. I know, dude. Again, like I said, dude, they don't come against for this for nothing. But
Thermophile, you're a beast, man. You're a beast.
So,
if you do that.
so you have kind of a duo partner that's within. Okay then. You have.
We're gonna be streaming together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
We're doing duo streams. What's that streaming thing called where they stream together?
A duo stream. Streamlabs.
Yeah,
No,
you can just duo
Restream.
No. There's a thing on Twitch.
They're just doing.
Atticas knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Like we're doing right now with 4 people, but they're gonna do it with 2.
No, yeah,
Squad
it's
stream?
squad stream. That's what
Dallas
it is.
stream. I'm
Yep.
scared of you, bro.
Thank you,
6
X
seconds.
Snack.
So
thank you for the follow, by the way. If you didn't see that earlier.
yeah,
Scuff stream, guys.
always good with the follows. But I was
It's
gonna
always
say,
scuffed. Sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say, Grace. I had the same aspect with my boy Chaos, Law of Chaos, but recent turn of events, he's fallen on some hard times basically, and he will not be able to be there for classic launch, which is extremely chaos.
Rip.
It sucks, dude. Like, for real, we've had this planned. We've done Mulgore, we've done Barons runs. We've done Mulgore 8 times together. 8 times. 1 to freaking 12. And then we've done Barons 4 times together. Like, that's fucking 30 plus hours of work we've done together. And then he just comes, he's like, dude, hardest times. I'm like, no. Like, terrible. But
Don't do this to me, bro.
yeah, no, for real. I was devastated. I was absolutely, and this was just last week. I was absolutely devastated by this news. But with that recent 5-man melee / aggro groups coming through the channels and saying, holy shit, this is the way to level, and being with an Invictus raid, I actually have been picked up by a 5-man group for Invictus to come through and actually do the grinding groups.
Are you guys gonna be grinding dungeons or out?
We are gonna be 100%. So after level 12,
It sounds nauseating.
It does. It sounds horrible.
it
Oh,
sounds
you poor baby.
It's gonna be grindy.
No, just the look on Gray's face when he said it. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I know,
it sounds
dude.
horrible.
What was that?
What's wrong with you?
Dude? Fucking
So serious.
like, that was great. But hey, man, it's gonna be a
much
grind. It's not gonna be super easy. It's gonna be a grind. But hands down, it will get you there the fastest by far. It's gonna cut into hours and hours and hours of questing and doing in the side stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm down to do it. So
I just want to get 4 warriors with Ravager and a shaman and just grind dungeons through that. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it.
Makes me sick, dude. And if you're not well versed on the game, and my guy that I'm grinding with, the guy that I'm dual leveling with, he was like, dude, Classic's a joke. Quests in Classic are a joke. It's literally just a big grind fest. From 1 to 60. The
I need bare
hands down.
asses.
Hands
Yeah,
down.
I mean it's literally just a grind from 1 to 60. I don't know. I've never grinded strictly 1 to 60. Never did any freshes. Never did any speed running. I don't know what to expect. I think it's gonna be fun overall. I think we're gonna be wrapping things up. Does anybody have any last words?
I have no other last words, my good man.
Atacas.
What's up?
Sup.
That was
No.
Any last words, brother?
Nope, I'm
Any
about to
last
get off
words
here and
for
go
our-
scrub my girl's feet for her. She's giving herself a pedicure,
Hey.
whatever it's called.
Oh,
so I'm gonna
shit,
finish
okay.
that
Okay.
up for her.
You know,
Sounds
everyone's
gross.
got their
Get that
fetish.
file.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and finish it up here then, guys.
Yep.
Thank you guys all for showing up, and as always, if I need to do the creepy goodbye, I will.
You should. You should.
Later, dudes.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a big